So now that I have my data points graphed here, I want to work on a line of fit. So I'm going to head over here to the plus sign, and I'm going to look for expression right there, and I'm going to type in an expression. Now this looks pretty linear, so I'm going to type in y equals mx plus b. So you do that as well, and then watch what pops up right underneath your y equals mx plus b. So when I typed in y equals mx plus b, I get these three options right here. I'm going to add a slider for m, which I know is the slope of the line, the steepness, a slider for b, which is the y-intercept. In other words, where will that line hit the y-axis? It looks somewhere close to 50. Or I could do all of them. I'm going to go ahead and tap on all, and I'll notice that I get a line that's way down here near the origin and nowhere near my green dots. So that's where the slider is going to help me here. But when you do that, take a second to realize that right now the y-intercept is 1. And I just pointed out that the y-intercept is closer to 50. So I can move my slider up closer to where it needs to go, but I notice it stops right there at 10. So if you tap on 10, you can change the range of your slider. And in this case, I'm going to put 50 because I feel like that's a good place to start. And I really don't need anything less than 40, so let's put it between 40 and 50. So you'll notice I typed that in right there. And let's see what happens here. Look at that, it moved my blue line up, and now I can work on my slider and get it closer to that, let's say that first green point, which I like. And now I can start working on the slider for the slope to get me where I need to go. So I move the sliders around here, and I notice that my slope is 6 and my y-intercept is 46. And if I look back at the data here, I don't know, I need to talk to my group and see if that's the line of best fit here. But what I like about my line so far is I can make predictions here. And so I noticed here if I tap anywhere on the blue line and drag up the blue line or down, it's going to tell me valuable information here. So for example, up here, if I study for about 10 hours, I might just get like 105 on a test or 106. Sounds kind of weird, but how about this guy over here? If I study for 6 hours, then my chances are maybe I'll score about an 80% on this test. That's what it's telling me. But don't forget to talk about what the slope means here and the y-intercept means here. So I understand the y-intercept. That means that if I don't study for this test, my chances are pretty good that I will probably get about a 40%, somewhere between a 40 and 50%. That's not good. And then for every 6 hours, what's it called? For every 6 hours, so like if I go up 6 points, that's about how many points I'm going to increase my test score. So in other words, yeah, is that right? I don't know. I need to talk to my group about that. But this is a good conversation to have. And then same thing like last time, you can take a screenshot of this, or you can go up here to the top right and get the embed code one more time and put that on your wiki page. So I talked to my group here, and we established that our slope means that pretty much for an increase of 6 points on my test, I need to study for about an hour here. This is a pretty tricky test, so that should make sense. So like if I don't study, I'll probably get between a 40 and 50%. So if I want to increase that to like about an 80%, I'm going to have to study. That means I need to increase it by about 30 points. That means I need to study for about 5 hours. It's a hard test, so I need to make sure I study. But I can study over time. So my equation here would be y equals 6x plus 46. But I'll leave that up to you to double check.